Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm your host, Pete Mezzetti. My guest this evening is women's golf professional Mary Harris. Mary, welcome. How are you?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming down. So how have you been?
Doing really good. Really good, yeah.
Good. So Mary, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got interested in golf.
Basically, I got interested in golf when I was about 9 or 10 years old.
Okay.
I grew up in Wethersfield, and my father took me out in the backyard to hit a few golf balls. He was a golfer already, and took me in the backyard, hit a few golf balls. We went to Wethersfield Country Club,
right.
And basically then took some junior lessons, a few junior lessons, and kind of just started playing it, and Dad taught me the rest of the way throughout all my years.
Nice. You like it?
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It's nice. You play it, here in Connecticut you can play, and also I'm in Arizona, so
right.
I can play all winter long as well. So it's a great sport.
Now, I'm sure there's a difference between playing in Connecticut and playing in Arizona.
Yes, there is. As a matter of fact, Connecticut, because right now I've been a member at Clinton Country Club.
Right.
And you have trees and a lot of very heavy rough at this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Arizona, it's a little bit more wide open and not quite as much rough and so forth. So it's definitely two different games, but yeah.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there's the weather difference between Connecticut and Arizona.
Oh yeah, for sure. The weather. Of course, I'm out there in the winter time.
Right.
And we can get chilly, in like December, January time frame. The temperatures during the day can get down in, they'll be like maybe 60 as a high, but they'll get down into the 30s, mid 30s at night.
Exactly.
So we have frost delays in the morning, and then once the frost clears, then we're able to play in Arizona. So.
And no snow.
No snow. No snow. Yep. Yeah. There's been a couple instances where we've had some snow in the mountains that surround us. We can see snow after a couple of storms, but yep, no snow.
No snow.
Yeah.
And how long have you been playing in Clinton?
Actually, I've been a member at Clinton now since 1989.
Okay.
32 years.
All right.
Yeah.
You like it?
I enjoy it. It's great group of people. Chris Smith was the golf professional there when I first joined.
Okay.
And he was very welcoming, introducing me to, a lot of the people, the ladies there and so forth to play. And then Bill McAdon was there for a period of time, and now Sean Buska is our current professional, and he's a great guy.
He is. Sean was actually on with me recently.
Oh, that's right.
Sean was on with me recently.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Yes, it was.
Sean, I was going to say, yeah, you probably watched that to prepare for tonight.
I did, as a matter of fact.
Now, what is getting out on the golf course? What's the difference between men's tees and ladies' tees, and men playing and ladies playing?
Well, not that I want to correct you, but
yes.
Now there's basically just the tees. They're basically a color-coded system.
Okay.
They're black tees. At Clinton Country Club, we have black tees that are the most back, playing the longest golf course.
Okay.
And then you have the blue tees, which are just a little bit closer. You have white tees, and you have gold tees, and we have green tees actually at Clinton as well, which are the most forward tees.
Okay.
So that way the tee, depending on your golfing abilities, and as you get, older, and maybe you can't quite hit the ball quite as far, so there's always a set of tees that you can play. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's beginners tees for people that are just getting into the game and not realizing how to play, but realizing, how do I do this?
How do I do this? Yeah, they have these green tees at Clinton, and even in Arizona they have these gold tees where the tees are out, like the tee boxes are out in the middle of the fairway.
Really?
And so then that way, for someone who's very much a beginner that can't quite hit the ball quite as far, and they can still get out there and enjoy the game of golf.
Absolutely. And now, as far as playing in Arizona rather than playing in Connecticut golf course wise, is there a difference in the golf courses that you play in?
Basically, again, it's, a lot of the golf courses can run about the same yardage length.
Yep.
And again, probably the biggest difference, especially at Clinton, is we have trees and we have rough. And,
Oh, yeah.
out in Arizona, it's not quite as, tree-lined fairways and so forth. So.
No rough.
There is rough. There is
Okay.
rough, yep, and they go through the grasses go through their seasonal changes out there.
Oh, absolutely.
They plant different kinds of grasses. Don't ask me what kinds they are, but
Nope.
they plant different kinds of grasses, so they go through a seasonal change, and they can still be difficult for sure.
Can they?
Yeah.
Now, have you ever had from what I understand by doing research for tonight, you're actually the women's golf champion in Clinton, at the Clinton Country Club, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes,
Tell us
I
about
am.
that. Let's talk about that.
Oh gosh, back when we first got started, of course, maybe many people might know Judy Kinsley.
Sure. Absolutely.
God rest her soul.
Yeah.
She was like the first junior girls female club champion at Clinton Country Club for many, many, many years.
Okay.
I mean, so many years. She was like really, really good, and
Right.
so then I came along, and I've won a few club championships there, and it's nice. They play the club championship now over Labor Day weekend.
Correct. Yeah.
Which you've been out there.
I have.
And your mom and dad have been out there.
That's right. That's right.
And it's probably to me, it's one of the best events that we have at Clinton Country Club. It really brings the camaraderie of all the people between the spectators and the players themselves. So.
I was going to say, it's a lot of fun being out there actually watching you play.
Yeah. There's times when I wish I was just out there watching somebody else play.
You play. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, how hard is it to learn golf?
A lot of people think that it's not really difficult because you're hitting a stationary object.
Right.
You have baseball and like I played some softball when I was growing up.
Okay.
And you're hitting a moving pitch.
Right.
And you think like, well, how hard can golf be? And
exactly.
so there's a lot, to learn, with the golf swing. I've had my lessons over the years, certainly from my father, and then every now and then when I need a tune-up, I'll see Sean Buska and he'll give me a tune-up, and I'll say like, okay, can you just help me out with that? And I'm having a problem getting out of bunkers or whatever. So, so it's always nice to have a tune-up. So,
absolutely, absolutely. Now, as far as golf clubs go, they're pretty much what are the basic clubs that you need in your bag to play?
Basically I have, a driver. Yeah. I have a 3-wood.
Okay.
And they've made lately, of recent years, they've made like hybrid clubs, which kind of replaced my 3-iron and my 4-iron. Okay. And they're much more forgiving, and you can get them in the air a little bit better. And
exactly.
Then I have a set of irons from like a 5-iron down to like a sand wedge and a putter.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And I was going to say, I'm sure getting out of the sand traps is not fun.
Heck, that can be certainly a challenge. I still haven't mastered it.
Oh, no? No?
Some days they go fine, and other days it's like, oh my goodness. So
other days you're standing in the sand trap.
Yeah.
How did I get here?
How did I get here? And why did my ball?
Yeah, why did my ball go that far? And how did it get here? And how many swings is it going to take me to get out?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, how do they actually score golf?
Basically, every stroke that you make with your club is considered one shot. Right. And so on a golf course, you'll have, par 3s, which are the shorter holes. You'll have par 4s, which are a little bit longer, and then par 5s, which are usually the longest. And you have like 4 par 5s and 4 par 3s. Okay. And then the rest are all par 4s. So every stroke that you make is counted as one. Okay. And so the goal is, of course, to try to, complete the round in the fewest number of strokes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now how long does it usually take to complete a round of golf?
Generally about 4 hours for 18 holes.
Okay.
You can play 9 holes, a lot of people, we have, a lot of people that would just go out and play 9 holes.
Right.
And that'll take, a couple hours.
Right.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And everybody is so welcoming at the Clinton Country Club.
They really are. They really, really are. Joining there as, as a single female way back when, it was very hard. I'd come from Wethersfield Country Club where I knew everybody, and then moved down to the shoreline, and so Clinton has just really been just a welcoming club.
Absolutely.
And got me really involved, with our 18, we have 9-hole group, a 9-hole ladies group and an 18-hole ladies group, and they do a great job setting up events, each week, throughout the golfing season. Wednesday is Ladies' Day at Clinton. Right. So
that's right.
They do a great job in setting up the weekly tournaments and so forth. So, and actually this week we're having our member guest this week, our ladies one-day member guest. So yeah, so you get to bring friends from other clubs and play, and we'll have we'll have a nice day, and it looks like it's going to be great weather.
Wednesday.
Ladies' Day. Wednesday, Ladies' Day.
I knew that.
Yes, you do know that.
I do. And one of the other wonderful things that the Clinton Country Club has is their menu. Food.
Oh, yes. We always, when we play the golf round, a lot of times when we're around the 14th hole, we're trying to decide, what are we going to have for lunch? And so forth. So and they've built this beautiful patio.
Oh, absolutely.
Outside, and it's just great to be able to come in. And actually, that was one of the positives. I mean, the club did a lot of positives with COVID and taking care of everybody. But, making this new patio for dining outside has just been great. So, it's all about the food afterwards and the camaraderie after golf.
Absolutely. Mary, would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back.
School is a lot different right now. Some days kids are learning at home with their parents' help, and
some days Elmo goes to school. To stay healthy, Elmo wears his mask and stays apart from his friends.
That's right. It may be challenging, but remember, when things get tough, to take a slow, deep breath. We are all in this together.
Yeah. Come on, Daddy. It's time for school at home.
Caring for each other because we are all in this together.
Community TV, your neighborhood TV.
Publicly funded and a reliable partner for cable companies nationwide. It provides transparent coverage of local and state government, education, and public programming.
A digital town green that can be watched anywhere, anytime, and on any device.
Watch us on today's high-tech distribution methods.
Community TV in Connecticut.
Local,
unfiltered,
reliable, and yours.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Mary Harris from the Clinton Country Club. Mary, welcome back.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Mary, so we were talking a little bit before the break about the camaraderie and the beautiful patio that they built at the Clinton Country Club.
Yes.
I haven't seen it up close, but I've seen it from a distance.
Yeah, they did a remarkable job. I mean, when we had COVID last year, people didn't want, nor did they want people going in and out of the clubhouse.
Right.
So they had just put some tables and chairs out there, and just kind of as an impromptu gathering place. And they got so many positive comments that over the winter and early spring they built this beautiful patio.
Yeah.
So it'll be, I guess it's big enough so that way if they have a special party and you want to put a tent over it for like a celebration, and so forth. So it's really a great meeting place after golf.
It is. And now, how did you handle the pandemic? Were you able to golf when you guys were out in Arizona?
Yes. I mean, I think probably one of the best good things that came out of the pandemic was I said, at least I play golf.
There you go.
I said, because it was an outdoor sport, and it was, It was great, and we played in Arizona. We all, out there, I have my own golf cart.
Yep.
So, so therefore, everybody took their own golf carts and so forth, and so we played out there, and then we came back here, and Clinton did a great job with, accommodating all of the COVID requirements and what the Connecticut State Golf Association and so forth, what they were recommending for, proven policies and so forth. So it was a lot of fun playing golf.
Absolutely. And as far as golf carts go, you want to make sure your golf cart is maintained and up and running properly, correct? Because you don't want it to die on you in the middle of.
Oh yeah.
Because then if it dies on you, you're going to walk 18
I know,
holes.
and well then you have to. Well, I do a lot of walking actually at Clinton
do
Country
you?
Club. I pretty much will walk the golf course most of the time.
Okay.
Because it's a very easy golf course to walk.
Yes.
So most of the time I do walk, but when it's hot and humid, then we certainly take carts.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you don't want to be walking and then
Yep.
pass out in the middle of a golf course. It's like, then nobody will find you. It's like,
Yeah, I know.
what happened? we don't know. We don't know. Yeah, I was watching golf with my dad this weekend. That was an amazing tournament.
It was totally, that U.S. Open was quite an
That
amazing
was-
tournament. Quite amazing, big turnarounds and,
Yeah.
big comebacks and,
Oh yeah, especially the winner who I believe it was the week before.
Yep, a couple weeks before.
Couple weeks before.
Yep, John Rahm.
Yeah,
Yep.
he tested positive.
Yep, and they told me he tested positive and he couldn't finish the round and he was leading that tournament.
Yeah,
so,
I remember I was watching that.
Yep.
With my dad. And
Oh,
it's like-
good.
It's like, oh my God.
Yep.
That had to be heartbreaking when you walk off the course. By the way, you tested positive, so you can't play.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
It's like,
He handled
no.
it. He handled it
did.
very well. I mean,
He did.
it was heartbreaking to see his reaction when they told him, but
Yeah.
he handled it very well.
He
So,
did. And now here in the state of Connecticut this week, we have the Travelers Championship coming up.
yes, we do. And I guess they're having, spectators back this year. They're
I
having,
believe so, but I believe the spectators are not as many as they
No.
normally have in the past.
Yes. Yeah.
They're trying to number the amount of spectators, and
Yep.
I believe tickets are you can't buy them there. You have to go online and buy them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which, of course, I'm sure it'll be on TV, so you can always
Yep.
sit in the comfort of your own home and watch watch it down in the basement. And
Yep.
hang out and yeah. I actually am starting to understand golf, but I'm a beginner.
Okay.
So it's like okay. So what are some, as far as understanding golf, what are some of the most common terms that you hear on the golf course?
Oh,
Besides-
not
besides-
anything I can repeat over the air.
Besides duck.
Yeah.
Besides
Besides
duck.
four.
Exactly. For duck and oh no.
And oh no, I can't believe I missed that putt.
Exactly.
Or my ball went in the water.
Exactly.
So
I'm sure the aspect of the ball going into the water, that's probably not fun, because then either somebody's got to go get it or your caddy's got to go get it for you.
Or it's gone forever.
Or it's gone. I'm sure you've.
Oh yeah, the pond in front of the 11th hole at Clinton Country Club.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a big pond, and that has acquired lots of my golf balls
Oh,
over
no.
the years.
Oh no.
Because for me, the third shot is a carry over the water.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
So some days it works, and then some days it doesn't.
I'm sure they'd want to drain that every so and so just to go get us, see how many golf balls end up at the bottom of the pond.
Yes, exactly.
It's like we could make some money on this.
I know.
Go wash the golf balls and sell them back to you.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. So as far as you being a woman and playing golf, I'm sure it's changed over the years.
It certainly has, Pete. Back when I was growing up, I was pre-Title IX,
Yep.
which allowed equality for women in sports, and that wasn't until like 1972, I believe, and
Okay.
I think it was finally implemented in 1976. So
Okay.
they really didn't have a lot of like girls' golf teams and so forth. So most of the time, I spent, playing, at Wethersfield Country Club, and playing in different tournaments. They have the Connecticut Women's Golf Association, which I'm a member of, that we play at different courses around the state and so forth, one-day events. And as a matter of fact, I'm going back to Wethersfield in August for their one-day tournament for the Connecticut Connecticut Women's Golf Association.
Really?
So yeah, so that'll be kind of fun to go back there and play again. So
Exactly.
my stomping ground.
Yep.
So before Title IX, it was difficult, but certainly since then, it's really afforded lots of opportunities, and a lot of good junior golf programs are now underway, and they have girls' high school golf teams and college golf teams and so forth. So it's certainly, it's certainly great to see. It's certainly great to see.
Absolutely, and I'm sure with being out on the women's golf circuit, you can actually be sponsored and
Oh yeah.
do pretty well.
Yes. Yep. They do. Their purses aren't quite as big as the men's purses on the professional tours,
Gotcha.
but they have great competition, and I do love watching them. There's a tournament in Arizona that some friends of mine go see, and we get to see the women up close and personal playing, and which is a great time. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the aspect of golf, I'm going to call it post-pandemic, how do you think things are looking as far as, because golf's a pretty outside sport, you're in an open air sport, so it's pretty safe, I think.
So many of the golf courses surpassed their rounds over the last year at the different golf courses with the amount of people playing golf, because it was something that they could do, that they could get out and play.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them surpassed their all-time highs, over this last year. So I'm hoping that it kind of continues to keep the momentum going, and that people continue, to play, because it's a great sport.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I'm assuming last year they didn't have the club championship because of the pandemic.
Well, I mean, they.
Or did they scale it back?
It was no spectators were allowed in golf carts. It was just walking only, so they still had it. But we usually have the Board of Governors at Clinton Country Club usually puts on a big party afterwards and so forth. But there was none of that last year. So that was that camaraderie of that whole weekend was certainly, it was missed, but we still had it. So.
And I believe usually after the club championship, they usually have dinner. I've actually been.
Well, yeah, they put out all the different hors d'oeuvres
Right.
and so forth. So it's great.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're having it this year.
I think that's the plan right now.
Is that the plan?
That's the plan, to kind of gather the momentum back, so you and your parents can get your golf carts.
Absolutely.
And come out and see us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, last time Sean was on, he was like, I felt bad telling your parents last year that there were no golf carts allowed just because of the pandemic. But I'm sure that's gonna change. Believe it or not, with the Clinton Country Club, it's actually a very busy place.
It certainly is. It certainly is. I think we do about a half a dozen or so outside events on Mondays, and then member guest tournaments and so forth. And then just the member. I mean, the membership, in and of itself has grown over the last couple of years.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. And from what I understand, they're celebrating their 125th plus one.
Plus one.
I believe.
Yes.
This is the 125th. It was supposed to be last year,
but
they didn't.
Yep, 1895. So the golf course was first came to be. So.
And was it always where it is?
No, it was actually in Clinton. It was down off of Commerce Street.
Okay, sure.
And that whole area down there is where it first started, and then it moved.
Really?
Yeah, then it moved up to where it is today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it an 18-hole course back then, I'm assuming?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yep. I wasn't around then.
No, me either. No. Nope. No, me. No. We were both not around then.
We both weren't around.
Because if we were, Yeah. No, I'm sure that obviously they're very busy at the country club with tournaments and with all their special events that they do, and everything's very, very prim, very proper. Everybody's very friendly.
They are.
At the country club.
They really are. Yep.
I've been there a couple times personally, and I was telling you off camera, last year in November we actually took my show on the road and did a cooking segment with Chef Paul from the kitchen. That was a fun afternoon.
I did see that, as a matter of fact.
That was a good day. Matter of fact, I talked to Chef Paul recently, and he was like, "We got to plan that again this year." I'm like, "We can do that.
We can do that."
I'm like, "We usually do that in October, November after they close for the season, because then it's absolutely, it's not crazy because it's Monday, and usually the only one that's there are me, my crew, Paul, and usually Chelsea and Kathy in the office, so they're doing admin." But Mary Harris, we're about to run out of time, but before we do, I want to thank you for coming down, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Peter.
Excellent. Thanks, Mary.
All right.
On behalf of Mary Harris, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks. Good night, and we'll see you next time.